We're back with another special episode from yours truly, Law Nation Sports. We got Ashley Baker in the room, and we got a special guest. Come on, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Aisha. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. All right. How y'all feeling?
What's up, Law Nation?
Oh, God.
Oh, everything is good. Yes, indeed. We back at it.
I'm happy to be here. We are happy to be here. I am happy to have one of the best in the business. Listen, expect the modesty because she's super modest.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful trait. But homegirl really got it going on, Law Nation. And she is just one of the dopest Cowboys reporters, creators, film watchers. She's all that and a bag of chips. Aisha Morrison, man, this is my homegirl, and we're still celebrating. This is the final days of Women's Month. So we're still celebrating that. And Aisha, we definitely celebrate you. And we appreciate you, Law, for even letting this happen.
No, thank you for having me on, man. I'm excited.
Yes. Law, yes, what's going on with you? What's up? What's going
on? This month right here, celebrating the ladies is everything, and I couldn't think of another person to bring about. But you two, y'all come in off the top rope with unbelievable Cowboys content. The greatest minds of the ladies is with the nation right now. And we are not finna have a good time, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to have a great time. Today, we finna go over a lot of topics. So you guys get ready for this. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions of everything and fight a few people that's in the chat. You know,
because I love for real. So Aisha, for real, this is like Wild Out Wednesday. Like that's what, it can get a little, but we gonna thug it out. We gonna thug it out. It's gonna be good. I was taking a nap earlier, and I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit later on in the show. But I woke up to a Cowboy signing. I woke up to Mr. Hankins back in the building. So I was like, look at these Cowboys in this period of life making these moves. Free agency has been super just different for us this season, man, honestly. And that's the first thing we're actually going to talk about. Like, we're going to discuss free agency, our favorite moves so far in free agency. We can even grade the free agency so far. As I mentioned, this is something. We're not used to this in Cowboys Nation. We're used to waiting until what's the sound? What's the little draft sound you do? What's the sound?
Yeah. I got it right here.
What's the That's what we're used to in Cowboys Nation, but they are giving us some treats early on. So I want y'all thoughts on the free agency move so far. I'm coming to you first, Aisha. I've seen some of the stuff that you put up on social, but I need to verbally hear you talk about it. What are your thoughts on the free agency in Cowboys Nation so far?
Oh yeah, you just see the sense of urgency that we have not seen in past years, and it's not so much that. I think it's also, too, I heard someone talk about the value. It's the value that you're getting for the gentleman. Even when you talk about Hankins, I think they brought him back for $1.95 million. I mean, that's a heck of a deal for a veteran guy. And for them to get it done now, you can go ahead and paint out the fact, again, I think I seen today a couple of DTs and some mock drafts. You can kind of say to yourself, does Dallas have to go first round? Granted. Do I want them to go BPA? Absolutely. But it kind of puts the really nice Band-Aid on there right now for the DT room. And we saw what Hankins did, but it also kind of, to me, shows that there is an activeness to be relevant, to chase after this ring and to start really putting things together right now. We always talk about the fact that, the Cowboys kind of drag their feet with free agency. I mean, they take their time. They want to sign some of their own guys but for them to go out, use some draft capital and pick up some gentlemen in Gilmore and like to come in here and shift the tide. I think that they're trying to put their foot in this, in that water of the competition, and I appreciate that for the fan base as well, because I think the fan base has been waiting to kind of see that sense of urgency for a while now.
Absolutely. What about you, Law? Now, also, there's another like word, general word, but I've been seeing floating around, kind of Mike McCarthy being a culture changer a little bit.
Yeah.
Saying, doing. He's starting to, you know what I mean, bloom here in Dallas. So tell me, Law, how you feeling about that? This is different, and we can't help but to see the common denominator behind that.
Well, I got an analogy here.
Okay.
Have you ever been somewhere on a full tank of gas? You can go everywhere you want, right? And when you don't have that full tank, right, and you have that I'm almost out of gas, you going straight to the gas station, or you tell everybody, hey, I can't make many stops. I got to go straight to the gas station. So when the Cowboys are going out here making moves and trade and free agency, we got the full tank of gas. So now the BPA philosophy is more prevalent, because you don't have to say, hey, I got to go straight there. So the Cowboys, by doing this deal, it makes a situation for us not to go straight to the gas station. Now we can make a few other stops. And that's why I like this move for us, and especially for the great value price of $1.5 million for a big boy down inside that's going to gobble up the running lanes. I like this move. So, yeah, that's good. That's a good move so far for us today with Jonathan Hankins.
Let me ask y'all, because I don't recall. First of all, I have mommy memory. Okay. Got 2 kids. My memory be shot, right? So when's the last time we had this good of a free agency in Dallas? When's the last time? Do we remember?
I mean, quite honestly, you could say that, and this is just being fair. The offensive side is what's been neglected to me. I feel like since Dan Quinn has come here, he has had a say so in free agency, and so you've kind of seen them be, to me, a little bit more active even on that side of the ball, getting free agents. Malik Hooker last year, Dante Fowler last year. I just think that side of the ball they've been a little bit more active on, and that's helped the defense clearly. But the offensive side of the ball is where they just don't touch free agency in my and that's what. So I want to say, I don't know. I felt like last year they had a decent free agency. It just was all defense. So
that's true.
The last time we've had Brandon Cooks coming in is probably the biggest free. Well, no, what's the trade, right? It's probably one of the biggest things we've done. The Cowboys have done since Amari Cooper, and that was a minute ago. When was that, Lord?
Yeah, that was a good minute ago. That was 2018. We were 3-5, and the acquisition is what we've been needing, regardless of what time it was. A trade is something that we all know that the Cowboys been sitting there saying we like our guys, or hey, we tried to make a deal go through, but we ran out of time. So by them doing this on the front end before the draft, if we already know that the Cowboys will draft well this upcoming draft, so we like this. We got the Birdman hands going on right now.
Yeah, that's true, because again, I think we all know they do well in the draft. We draft well.
Right.
So Mike McCarthy changing the culture a little bit here.
He is.
A lot of bit here. Let's say a lot of bit here. How y'all feeling about that? There was a lot of scrutiny and a lot of, chit chatter when we brought Mike on, and a lot of us in Cowboys Nation, was I one of them? I don't remember. Don't go digging for tweets. It's a possibility. No. I think I was okay with Mike, because I feel like at that time Mike was like the best available. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Anything to get Jason Garrett out the door, I was
anybody.
It, okay, so anybody, I would have been okay. I would have been okay if you was coach. All right, Law, I would have been okay.
Right,
if you was coach,
right.
Honestly.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah. You got to put your job application in. Just go ahead and do that. But yeah, so there was a little bit of pushback again within the nation itself, but I'm starting to see stuff pan out here with Mike. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I feel like head coaching is very difficult. It's a lot more difficult than what people say. When you think about being a veteran, there's not a lot of people who can lead men, like lead grown men.
Right.
And especially in a locker room, it's such a delicate place. And so watching how Mike McCarthy kind of handles the locker room, he actually spoke about that in his press conference recently, is that he trusts this locker. He believes in this locker room. And I can tell you, being boots on the ground, that was one of the first things I noticed, is that the locker room really is a tight-knit locker room. Like, and I think that's one of the biggest differences also to moving forward in this last couple of years. And with Mike McCarthy, I said last year was the first year that he got a full off season to kind of implement some of what he wanted to do, because first year he came in, I believe it was COVID year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And then the next year, Dak Prescott goes down. He loses him for a lot of the season. And then obviously Dak, messed up his leg, his thumb earlier this season. So he's had a rough break these all 3 seasons. So hopefully this is the season where he can implement everything he wants to. And obviously he's brought in the gentleman on the offensive side of the ball now that he wanted to bring in, because on the defensive side of the ball, he messed up with Mike Nolan and they couldn't.
Right. Ooh. Ooh.
There's not a lot that you can say about the defensive side of the ball, but him bringing in his guys and just having faith and trust in what they do, I will see if it will help out this team and simplify things for this offense. I'm a Mike McCarthy guy. I think what he's doing here and the culture changing, I think you see it in the guys they draft. I think you see it in the character.
Yes, indeed. I think old Murphy Law got her. There you go. There you go. The Wi-Fi monster. But she.
It's not. It's my mama calling me.
Oh, that's okay. Well, Mama. Yeah, you gotta take that call when Mama call.
Yeah,
I'm working.
Okay. All right. Hey, I can recall 2 times that I was extremely mad at Mike McCarthy, and he's been here for 3 years. The first time was the first year. You remember it was 4th and 20. He went for it against the Washington team. And then the Green Bay Packer game last season. Those were the 2 times that I kind of messed up some stuff in my office over here. But Mike McCarthy, collectively, he's been a solid guy. We would have wanted him to take a little bit more of the control in 2021. But sometimes the Jones family, we love them, but you got to show them tough love, because if Mike McCarthy would have intervened too quickly, then they would have been like, you know what, Mike, we no longer need you, because you got the boy wonder. You got the guy that knows everything. And that is where we were heading in 2021, if people remember, because when we were on that little run, they was like, why is even Mike McCarthy is here? We don't need him. We got Dan Quinn. We got the young Kellen Moore. So he had to sit back and say, hey, I'm going to allow this man to set his own traps up. If he install it, he call it. I'm not going to help him out anymore.
It was nuts. That's nuts, by the way. Sorry. That narrative where people were like, what does he do? I mean, he's just there. And I'm like, y'all must not understand what it takes to be a head coach. It seems like a lot of dang work. I can tell you that. It seems like a lot of work and a lot of organizing, a lot of dictating, and that's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
Actually, you being in the locker room, so I'm really in journalism mode right now, and I'm taking a back seat. I'm loving this host role right now. Shooting questions, asking questions, getting the info. I'm for the people, okay? I'm for the people. I'm going to get the information. I'm going to get the scoop. So because you are, what you call it earlier, boots on ground. Boots on ground. Tell me how the guys in the locker room gravitate towards Mike McCarthy, because we've heard like some rumblings and probably some false reports that, they weren't playing for him as much. They were playing for like Kellen Moore, and they play for Dan Quinn, and that probably couldn't be further from the truth. So tell me about what you were able to see this past season with their interactions with Mike McCarthy.
Well, I just think that it's a trickle-down effect of just how he treats them. There's one thing about Mike McCarthy is, like, you can tell he really cares about his players' health. And I think that's where he wins over a lot of them very quickly, is that if you're injured and if And if you're injured, you're injured. You know, like granted, you know, a couple of gentlemen aside, you know, there, if you're injured and you say, I don't feel well, even, you know, Michael Gallup, he wasn't ready to even take the field a couple of weeks before he actually came on the field. And, you know, they talk about mental health. I've seen plenty of times since Mike McCarthy has been here, he's let guys go early, and people on Twitter are outraged. Why is he letting them out of practice early? Why are they getting a beach day? Why are they in? There's so much stress that goes into what they do. There's so much time management. There's so much that goes into it. He remembers that these are young men. They're great. Like, old in the NFL is 33, 30. That's nuts.
Right.
Like, baby, I'm knocking on the door. And so he just remembers that they're young men. He kind of meets them where they are. I think he knows the players, but he also has good relationship with his coordinators, that he trusts them to dictate. He trusts them to handle their job to where he doesn't have to micromanage. Nobody wants to micromanage nobody. These are grown men.
Especially grown men. That's what I was about to say. Especially grown men.
Nobody wants to have to do that. What they want to do is to know that their coordinators are going to uphold the standard that they have set. And with Mike McCarthy, I think he's done that. And it looks so different to a lot of people that they don't think that it's acceptable. But I can tell you that there's different leadership in every player in that locker room, but it comes together well. And also the way that they drafted predominantly this last couple of years has really brought in guys that have good character and kind of have the same thoughts. And I think it's a good mix of veterans who got kids and have families and stuff, and young guys that are still looking for mentorship and still trying to figure out their way. There's a lot of goodness in the locker room, and I felt blessed to be able to experience those guys and to be in their space this year.
I'm not sure where Law went, but we are going to hold it down. I think Murphy's Law got him. That's what he said. Can you see him?
No. You know, I beat Murphy Laws up. You know what I mean? Well, what I wanted to say is, you know, to help celebrate the ladies, I'm creating a link. So if you are a lady and you would like to jump in, we got 2 more spots for you. So jump on in and spit your mind over here, because we got a lot of ladies in the Cowboys community.
Absolutely.
that don't sit back and just don't know football. They know football. So I would like to give them a chance. So I'm still in the scene. I'm behind it, working in the shadows. So go ahead. You know.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great. Now, so we're still talking free agency, and then we're gonna shift to what your wish list at 26 would be, because again, like you mentioned, we made so many moves in free agency. It's not 26 or bust, like, you know what I mean, in the draft. So what's your favorite free agency move so far? Whether it be a trade, whether it be just signing a free agent in general, what's your favorite move so far?
My favorite so far, Barnacles. I'm trying to think. So on the defensive side of the ball, what they do, I don't want to be cliche and say Donovan.
Okay.
Because Donovan is, yes. I would say, okay. What they do on offense? I would say Brandon Cooks.
I love to say Cooks.
Because man, it's like, as much as I'm happy that Hankins is back, as much as I am grateful that Donovan is coming back, all that stuff, the way that the offense needed, like some juice, the way that the offense is needed, and really, honestly, I'm very glad from a draft standpoint that this allows the Cowboys to not have to stress about receiver in the first round. If they want to, they can. There's a couple guys that I think are okay to be taken there, but at the same time, them not having to do that and to do it, I think he's going to really fit into what Dak needs, like what this offense needed last year. And that was a veteran that could consistently get open on their own, separate, take some of the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, and then had some speed ability. That's it. I mean, truly, if you had even a little bit of that last year, Lordy.
Think we would have did a little, we would have made something shake a little bit more with the 49ers?
With how that defense played, it does not get talked about enough because everything else went on.
Talk about
it. The Cowboys defense dominated the 49ers.
Well.
They were not able, the 49ers, and this is why you have playmakers. The defense, the Cowboys defense had been on the field a lot, and it took one drive for their playmakers to make 3 plays, and they scored. That was the only difference in the game. The Cowboys run defense, Christian McCaffrey he didn't want to see number 6 at all for the rest of the day. And I really think that defense, that's why they worked so hard to bring it back, and they're working so hard to bring it back, because if I'm the 49ers, I'm trying to get tougher, because they matched them this past time. It's no more this bully ball, whatever. The Cowboys defense really set the tone early in that game, and they wore on that 49ers offense, despite the quarterback being.
I agree. They definitely, and I think going into that game, I knew that, listen, we may have been taken by surprise the year prior with their physicality just a little bit, but I knew that they weren't just going to run over us and punk us this year. Like, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. Again, especially with the pieces that we have on defense. In the comments, I want y'all to tell me y'all favorite free agency move. Mine is, I'm just so, I do a lot of running my mouth about like offense stuff, but I am just elated at this defense the past couple of seasons. And I'd probably say my favorite move is Gilmore. Grabbing that corner spot. I've spoke my mind enough on Twitter about just good luck with that front coming at you and having to pick and choose between Trayvon Diggs and Gilmore. Like, good luck in putting the ball in the air. And, I'm excited about that. That's probably one of my favorites. Again, I'm all for beefing up the defense. I'm all for making sure that side of the ball, because, as cliche as it is, it's a real thing. Offense score points, defense win championships, man. You know what I mean? And especially, we trying to downplay the defense. It's such an offense-driven league. You know what I mean? Nowadays, high flashy, fly. But listen, the defense, just look at the 49ers. I mean, we can honestly say that if they had the quarterback situation intact, they probably beat Philadelphia. Okay? So, and a lot of that was because of their defense. Their defense probably would have, So I love that. I love that when we talk defenses, we're talking Dallas being, top 3, top 5. And I absolutely love the Gilmore move. So let me see. It's a couple of people I see. I like the Cook move the most. Don't want to see Noah here. Yeah. Oh, I see you. You want to get in on this, don't you?
Yeah, I gotta get in on this.
I knew you was gonna come back. I knew you was gonna come back.
I couldn't leave y'all ladies that long by yourselves, I gotta jump in.
Come back. I knew that you wanted in on this, man. I get that. So before I even get to the comments, what's your favorite move so far?
I like what BD Gray just said. And I know it wasn't even a free agent, but technically he was a free agent, right?
Facts.
You see, he get one of those horns. Let me find a horn for him or something. Because this was a real good sign. Yes, indeed.
It's hilarious.
Damn. This is why this move was so good.
Yeah,
this is why this move is so good, because now you build something in 2021 and you wanted to hold on to that in 2022, and then you want to build on it even more for 2023, and that is Dan Quinn, who's the man. And second move, my second favorite one, I'm gonna stick to the defensive side of the coin, if I may. If I'm okay with sticking to the defensive side, is Gilly. I'm gonna take your notes and just say, hey, now that you have someone else on the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs, that, man, we can sit back and chill just a little bit, sip on some Mai Tai, infused with some Johnny Walker Blue from Jerry Wayne Jones, and have a good time on Sundays now, because we don't have to worry about nothing wrong with Anthony Brown get down, but we don't have to worry about that anymore. And excuse me, we don't have to worry about putting a Trayvon Mullen in off the streets or bringing in another guy, Xavier Rose, etc. So now I love what I'm seeing. I hope that Dayron Bland can stay inside the slot, because you got two-way goals. Woo! I love it. So yeah. I can go now. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Your point, Law. Towards the end of the season, we saw a big difference in how offenses were playing the defense. They were trying to get the ball out fast. They were obviously attacking that 2-corner, but there were a lack of coverage sacks that you had seen at the beginning of the season. And so I do think this also too is going to make quarterbacks have to think once, think twice. Hey, actually, they got a ball hawk in the middle too. And if Jordan Lewis is your second nickel corner, you cook him with gas, in my opinion.
Ooh, yeah.
So Deron Bland also too. We talk about the draft. We talk about he truly coming in and being so ready to play the way that he was has kind of eased the cornerback room also too. Because I love the Gilmore move also, but Deron Bland being in the middle really has kind of solidified, okay, well, we can be a little bit more free with these safeties. We can do a little bit more. So I'm excited for him in his second year to get better. That's nuts. Like, he's going to get better. He's going to get better.
He is.
Than the 5 picks he got this year. I think it was 5, right?
Yeah, 5. He put 5 on it.
5 was it set 5? I think it was 5.
He put 5 on it, but Bland, two-way goals, man. The slot spot is a hard spot to cover. And if you think I'm lying, ask Prime, will he play the slot? When he was playing football, he would say, nah, he liked to have the boundary as his friend and knowing where the routes will be at instead of having someone with two-way goals. So, yeah, that's a hard spot to cover, and Bland did a great job at it.
I see the White Canvas saying Pollard and Gilmore was his favorite. David Fowles, Hankins, Joseph Warren, he said he liked Cooks. I see y'all commenting up in here. So now that we've talked about the favorites, now that we've talked about the moves we've made so far, and again, because we dealt with we had that sense of urgency early, again, we walk into the draft and it's not this pressure cooker of a draft this season. So wish list at 26. Did that rhyme? I try to make that rhyme as much as possible. Your wish list at 26. Now that some of the smoke has, cleared a bit, we've gone out, we've gotten some folks, we've re-signed some folks. Tell me, Aisha, you need to come back on the screen, Law, because I need that draft music. Or you ain't gotta come back. Just give me the draft music. We coming. We got the Cowboys are on the clock. Okay.
Oh no! Don't do that. That's gonna give me anxiety. Whoa.
Whoa. You putting it right at her, right?
The Cowboys are on the clock. What's your wish list? Not who we going to draft, but who's your wish list at 26?
Oh. Okay. Let.
Oh, you want me to just go ahead and throw it out there?
She got like 6 pages of a wish list. What is this, Christmas? She got like 6 pages of a wish list. This is crazy.
No, because my mind won't allow me to get excited about players I don't think they're gonna draft. I can't do it.
Okay. I see what you're thinking.
I'm trying my best, so I can't bring myself to do that. Barnacles. Okay. My wish list.
Yeah.
Stop laughing so hard.
Hey, it's an inside joke. Oh my gosh, man. This dude got James Washington there.
Stop it. Stop.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me what's on your wish list, Law. Let me.
All right. So I got a philosophy going. I want to build from the inside out. Yes, I'm trying to. I want my whole beard and hair top to be all snow white. You know what I'm saying? So I can really look like a philosopher, and I'll put glasses on and everything else. But neither here nor there. I would love for us to build from the inside out. So on the defensive side, I like this guy named Kalijah Kancey. Kancey is a guy that had 14.5 sacks in his last 2 collegiate careers, and he's a pressure maker. Yes, he's a 3 tech, but he's a B-gap destroyer. I got him like the next coming of not an Aaron Donald because he's 6'1", 280 pounds, but he's more of the mode of a John Randall back in the days for Minnesota. I think that would be a guy that can be phenomenal in this particular scheme and defense. He will bring pressure and generate sacks from the interior, and that's what we need. And he's decent on stopping the run. He may be small, but dynamite come in small packages. Nevertheless, on the offensive side, I got one of the tackles that I really love, and his name is Dawan Jones.
Oh, I got no
Oh my God, he's got long extensions. Get over here type of arms. So I like him. And who else? Those are the two guys that I can think of right now. But it all depends on who's available. So that's what makes it such a hard deal to say, who do you want at 26?
Which is why I was struggling. There's been a lot of conversation about Steve Avila from TCU possibly being an option, and just kind of how the Cowboys are handling guard. I said today draft show, I started kind of circling back and looking at some of these tackles that are supposed to be in. And I don't know if this would be too early for some people, but I really think Cody Mock from North Dakota State could be a dude that, if you put him in at guard, could really piss some people off with how violent he is with his hands and how powerful he is. Him and Tyler Smith together, I feel like could be really something. Now, this is contingent on what happens with Tyron Smith, and if he is going to be your starting tackle moving forward or whatever happens there. But if you're kind of trying to rebuild this line, or if you're trying to kind of start the foundation of it, you got Terrence Steele here, Tyler Biadasz there in the middle. He also has the ability to play guard, like to play right guard. So I think he can move around. I think he's versatile. So I'm like, Cody Mauch is a guy that I really like. If you go look at the Senior Bowl tape, he was disrespectful out there, and guys just stopped. He just was still. And so I wanted to bring attention to him today, because I really feel like somebody might take him. And he was a tackle before. He was a tackle, but people think the competition in North Dakota State's not that great or whatever.
Right.
If you push him inside, you might have a real dude there. And he looked good at senior. Senior and
Senior Bowl. Yeah.
You start talking about a guy that can maybe play across, down the line, that's and not bad at all. Like that's next level to me. So he's one of my dudes.
Let me say this, Aisha. When you talking about a young man with no teeth, he got nothing to lose.
And he don't care about that.
He don't care about nothing. So
listen, slide me up. Get him on my offensive line. Get him.
Because if I was in my 20s, I said, look, man, I got to give me some teeth, man. Look, I don't care what I'm playing. I got to give me some teeth. I got to at least look good. He got no teeth.
No, Dawan Jones, too. I actually really like him as well. Watched him at the Senior Bowl. I was really looking for him at the Senior Bowl, Law, because I was one of those people that saw his tape and was like, okay, like he moved well. But then when you see him run that 40, and you kind of just see how he's built without the pads, where he looks lean, like he's just top heavy. He's just a top dude. He just looks heavy up here, but he looks stout. I think I said the only issue would be leverage sometimes. He can work on that, but getting out in space, getting out in the run game, which is what people want to do now with things like look at the backs and how people want guys who can catch passes out the backfield and stuff. That's screen game. That's movement. So I think that a guy like Dawan Jones could definitely have a place in this league if he continues to play like that, because people want guys that are athletic and can move now.
Dawan Jones, I'm going to make sure that I look him up, because that is something that I would love for our offense to get better at, is that screen game. Yeah. And if he has that, for years I've been yelling at, just take the screen plays out of the damn book. Just take them out, because we're not executing. What about defense? Ish, you got somebody on defense that you?
Oh yeah, actually, let me see.
Got somebody on defense that you got in mind?
Joey Porter Jr.
And y'all in the comments too. Do we got anybody talking about their wish list in the comments while she flips through her 80 pages of her Christmas list? Because she got
my computer died, so I had to go with my notebook, y'all.
Oh, that's even better.
I've been looking don't do me like that. DJ Turner, cornerback out of Michigan.
Oh,
for the last 2 days now, and I'm saying pure man corner. And granted, I'm a Emmanuel Forbes supporter.
Hill
I
State.
feel pure man corner. This might be the best man corner in the draft. He just so. I mean, when you say hip pocket, it's so funny because you watch him. I watch him. He has that chip on his shoulder, kind of when he plays big, but he's not big. Kind of like a Jordan Lewis when he was at Michigan. Kind of like that same energy of like, hey, I'm not afraid to come up and tackle. I'm not afraid to be in your face. I'm real sticky. I'm going to be in your hip. I'm going to pester you the whole game. And he got that in him. I think he has ball skills. And a lot of the DBs in this draft, you'll find out, will they make it on the ball? Yeah, but are they trying to take the ball away? No. There's not that many guys to me that are ball hawks in this cornerback class, that are looking for the ball, that are trying to make plays on the ball. Are they trying to make a play? Yeah. But this dude right here, that dude right there, they also brought him. He's so fast. He ran an insane 40 at the combine, and they would even bring him on corner blitzes because they trust him to get there because he's that fast. He's that fast. So he's a guy definitely that has my attention right now, and I think his value is going to go up because the nickel corner spot, like we were just talking about, is very difficult to play, and I think he may have the ability to do that. So, and teams are looking for that now. They're looking for good nickel corners.
Yeah, 4.2640. That's super fast, and I always look at players not as if though they still playing in college, because you still got to understand when Dan Quinn get his hands on you, it's a whole nother world. So DJ Turner on this team, they may put him in slot blitzes. They may have him playing in deep covers, deeper thirds, so it's so many things you can do with 4.26 speed is phenomenal. So I wouldn't dog that at all, but not at 26 though. I think that he may be no down the line, but it's your
like
wish.
in a different later round ball.
Yeah.
You were looking at one conversation we had on the draft show today was would you take an edge? Do you think that edge is something that, if it's best player available, would you take an edge?
Was Luke Van Ness, or you could do something with Drew Sanders? He's a linebacker slash edge.
I'm a Drew Sanders kind of girl. Give me Drew Sanders. If he fall, that's my wish list pick. I will take
Go ahead.
26. I'm not mad at that.
Go ahead with your wish list, because I don't want to overtake anything. Go ahead.
So what are you saying that? So if Drew Sanders, my thing is, if Drew Sanders is drafted by the Cowboys, that means Micah's a DN now. Is that?
Oh, I never looked at it that way. So they'll just be like, Drew would take Micah's old spot, and then Micah would just be the DN, and Sam Williams, Fowler, Armstrong have to say, hey, we play in paper, rock, scissors to get in,
Well, the beauty is that you can move Micah around. I mean, we know that he excels better in certain spaces, but I mean, you can move Drew Sanders and Micah Parsons on the field.
I just don't see. I don't see.
It's just a wish list. I mean, it probably.
No, you're right. Guy that I'm always on the fence. I'm on the fence about it because I think he's a good linebacker that can rush the passer sometimes, and that is such a trait that people are looking for now, is like a guy that can rush from like that. That's why I personally think that's why people are like, but I think he can still play the game. Just wonder for the Cowboys in particular how that would change the rotation and stuff, because he would be a linebacker.
That's true.
Occasion, like he would be a linebacker. So I mean, and if you are going to go linebacker that high, I think that he's maybe the only one. So that's not a bad wish list.
What about Myles Murphy?
I mean,
are y'all familiar with Myles Murphy?
Yeah. You like him, or you gonna pass on him?
Do you think so?
I'm asking y'all.
Well, I think that Myles Murphy, he's one of the top edge rushers coming out of this draft.
If we were to go, like Aisha saying, if we were to go edge,
if we were to go the edge route there are other guys that I would probably look at other than Miles Murphy.
Okay.
But I would look at it like this. You got Dan Quinn. And as much as we may say, okay, I want a
believes
little bit
that
more
Dan
from
Quinn is
Miles.
the defense whisperer here.
He
And
the defense
probably
whisperer.
is.
Right.
He probably is.
Coach Dirty, though, even with Coach Dirty, Coach
Dirty.
Aiden
Yeah.
Dirty, rather, like he also too. I mean, think about what he did with Sam Williams. I remember looking at Sam Williams last year, and first of all, just how Mississippi, right? Like how they played him in the first place. Like, well, Ole Miss rather. How they rushed him. They rushed him from the A and B gap a lot of the time. He wasn't an edge rusher all the time, and he didn't have a lot of bend. People talked about the fluidity in his hips, and people talked about, and you just saw his game evolve as the year went on, because good coaching matters. I think on the defensive side of the ball, every guy that we look at and we're like, oh, I'm not sure about him, or he might have, your coaching, your individual coaching, your organization matters. And there's some guys that you're willing to just be like, okay, let's get him in here so he can just get this coaching, and we'll see what he can do from there. High ceiling.
Yeah.
I think you can say that about the offense a little bit too, as far as coaching up the guys, because again, I don't think a lot of us were super familiar with Tyler last year, and he absolutely had a fantastic rookie year. Again, very good at coaching up, and it had to be something quick for Tyler. So we can say that on both sides of the ball. That's a great point. Aisha. What you about to say, Law?
No, it's just coaching elevate players, and then when you get these players in the building, all right, we want to see results. We want to see some tangible things that you did while in college transfer over to the pros. So like you mentioned, DJ Turner, we want to see that speed over here. You mentioned Emmanuel Forbes. I want to see those takeaways over here. Yes, he needs a sandwich. He's 6'1", 166 pounds. Yes, he's going to have to gain some little weight here and there so that he can survive in this NFL world. But all of these guys are unfinished products. And when they come over here, they're going to join the Quinn plan, and everything gonna work out to his best.
Yeah. What you about to say, Aisha?
No, I was laughing at y'all. Gonna stop talking about Emmanuel like that, man. You say he need a sandwich, and all the things you could have said about a sandwich.
A hamburger and a French fry, or something. 166 pounds. I can only imagine him trying to come down and hit just even Dak or somebody. Dak is about like 240. He
played big though, and him in person. I seen him. You got to see some of these. I seen him in person, and he not built like no little dude. He honestly. I mean, when I first saw him in person, I thought about Israel McQuamu's build. It's a similar build. It's real slender and just lean.
You're a Texas girl. You remember back in the day, Merton Hanks? He went and got drafted to the 49ers or whatever. He was real wiry. That's who he kind of reminded me a little bit with the mentality. Y'all in the chat, y'all remember Merton Hanks? You know what I'm saying? That's what he used to do after he made plays. But he got all heart.
Law, I want you to pull up this question really quick from Sam Jordan. It was at 8:59. He wants to know thoughts on Mozzie Smith and Brian Breeze.
Okay, Mozzie Smith. Let me see if
I have notes on Mozzie.
Did you saw him?
Yeah, I have notes on Mozzie. 1 second.
And I know Brian is from Clemson, so yeah. Let me see, who else do y'all have? Let me see up in these comments. Lord, he does not. What is this? He does not need a biscuit. Oh, peanut butter and jelly. They're talking about your boy. They talk about your.
Hell State. I'm trying to find that man.
Said red beans, rice, oxtails, and collards. Now that sounds good. I ain't gonna stop, y'all. And I'm hungry. Come on, man. It's dinner time. I ain't ate. Let's stop. Now somebody done put neck bones in there.
Neck bones, ham hock. I can't find that question. I'm looking all through it.
It's all good. Okay. But go ahead, Ish.
We can answer though. No. With Mozzie, I like Mozzie's game. Obviously, he's known for the run stopping and the ability that he's not afraid to be in the trash. Just a real trench player. But my thing is just what do you need? What do you want to do? In the Cowboys case, maybe you're not looking for a whole bunch of pass rush from your DT position because you are getting so much from your edges. I don't know. But I guess for Mozzie, if you're going to draft Mozzie, you got to understand what you're getting. And I personally feel like I know a lot of people are like, well, he could, turn into a pass rusher. He could have some pass rush ability. I think just making him good at what he does well, which is holding up blocks, taking on trash, taking on contact, playing with some power is what I think he does well. And I think people should allow him to do that. And also, too, playing DT in the league. And we've seen, I got to talk to Hankins about it, just two-gapping and playing the run in general is something that is learned. It takes time to learn. And you have to have a feel for how to play the run. And we see it all the time. There's guys who can play the run, and they can't rush the passer, or they can rush the passer, but they cannot play the run. So with Mozzie, I just feel like it's going to take a particular team to be like, this is what you want. We want you to do. And I think if you try to make him do other stuff, you're not going to get the same production from him.
I love it. I love that analysis.
Isn't even super high, in my opinion.
He don't have a high motor. Yeah. But he's strong. He's super strong. 34 times he bench pressed 225. And yes, you look at his college career, he only had 1 sack. I get all of that. And you got you a big guy that's going to do 2 gappy things. And that's not going to be good numbers as far as what we want to see. And you only get certain guys like that can give you 6 and 7 sacks, like who we wanted, the big Bama kid, who had 12 sacks last season. What was his name? Y'all help me out. That even Parsons said, yeah, I would love to have him. What was that kid name? Y'all help me out. Who? What was the name?
I don't know. That was me cussing because I can't remember.
Oh my God, I got brain tease right now. But or Javon Hargraves, he had double-digit sacks. Yeah, Dayron Payne. Ooh, thank y'all, man. Y'all help a brother out. Yeah, HBO me. I appreciate y'all, man. But it's hard to find somebody that can get double-digit sacks from the inside. The last time we had that was Jason Hatcher, who had 12 sacks, from the inside, and we shipped him off to Washington, or he went off to Washington. So if we can, I don't see Mozzie getting double-digit sacks, but I can see no one running over that way. And Parsons can eat, or Leighton Vander Esch can eat. Damone Clark will be able to eat. D-Law will be happy with it. So he will be a good pickup for everyone else to eat. But what will be a steal for me, Mozzie wear 58, right? We got in the second round, pick 58. That would be nice for me if I can figure out a way for him to slide to number 58. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Let's lay it straight. Let's go. If we get him in the second round, I'll be happier with him.
Real quick, I know you were talking about just kind of him like being one-dimensional just a little bit. I think that as we kind of talked about Dan Quinn, though, man, being that coach that can for me, a great coach is somebody that understands the talent and understands what their players can do and puts them in the best positions to do that. So we've talked before, Law, about, Dallas being this nasty, hard-fought, physical, big team. And if he's going to provide that, like you said, and make opposing offenses think twice before running over to that side, that's a possibility. At 26, though, I like the other option that you gave, maybe in the second round. If he's still there at 58, then maybe in the second round too.
Yeah, it's hard to justify unless it's like a Jalen Carter, which we'll see if he falls that far.
Yeah, I was thinking about Jalen too.
Yeah, people find it very hard to be taken in the first as a DT. You got to be able to do both. And probably do both well.
Facts.
Because it's weird. Like Law said, there's not a lot of guys who can do it, but you can find them in the later rounds.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this conversation. I told y'all Aisha was a beast from the NFC East herself. I told y'all this. And Law, again, we definitely appreciate you. We kind of coming towards the end of the show. I have a couple, like one more little thing I want to insert here as host. Excuse me. I think that I'm doing a great job at hosting, and I love sitting back and listening and soaking up all of this information because I'm looking at two of the best in the business. Give me this information. So I absolutely love that. Aisha, really quick, and I'll have you do it again at the end of the show. Please let everybody know where they can follow you on social.
Oh yeah, you folks can find me Aisha Morrison on Twitter. That's IISHA Morrison, and I think I might be the only baldy that comes up. So that is me. I'm she, and you can definitely reach out. I'm very personable for the most part. So yeah.
Just don't come talking. I know we probably got some haters up here. There's some people in Lost Nation that don't be Cowboy fans. Don't go on homegirls feed trying to talk. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Try to talk greasy. But I know you be having some haters in the comment. I know you can be.
Yeah. But I tell get out of here. Get out of here. You know,
folks into what is it? Infiltrating the family. I'm already hip. You need to be playing me my X-Files music because I see y'all. I
got you right there.
Look,
we got it over here.
We had so much on the soundboard. I'm excited about the soundboard. So really quick, I do want to, we touched on Mike a bit earlier, and I should have shifted this question into that, but I'll shift it here or put it here. What's considered a good season for Mike McCarthy next year? What is the second round of the playoffs? Is it first seed? We get first round bye? Is it the NFC Championship? Is it Super Bowl or bust? What is this? Mike's fourth year?
Yeah.
Mike's fourth year.
I be trying not to count that COVID year, man. That year.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. This is third year, y'all. This is third year.
Wasn't fair, wasn't right. That's like saying
that's crazy because a lot of Lakers fans would say you better count that year since they got that bubble championship.
Hey. See, we were having a good time, and now all of a sudden you gonna bring up my Lakers. See that's how you do me. That's how you do me. That's how you do me.
Those are two different things.
I was about to say, I should tell the Lakers.
I don't know about basketball too. They're not gonna start there.
So you don't count the COVID year. Okay, so we'll say 3 years.
3 years.
We'll say 3 years. So what's considered a good season? What are your expectations of Mike McCarthy next season?
My expectations. My expectations are he has a lot of influence on what's going on right now. I think that he understands that. And this is kind of like a redemption year somewhat for him to me. I feel like he got a lot of people to prove wrong. I think he got there's a lot of people believing in him, but then also too, when you look at the state of the NFC, I think that's what changes some of the conversation. I think it would be difficult for people to look at the NFC for what it is and how it might be post-draft and say, if you saying that the Cowboys should not be in the conversation as the top teams in the top 3 teams in NFC, I don't know what you're saying, just going into the season. And then also too, I think it would have to be, for me, like NFC Championship type stuff. I think what they're doing right now is enough they're trying to get over the hump of the 49ers. And they weren't that far off, in my opinion, in the first place. So I think it's the NFC Championship. With how the NFC is kind of is looking at this point, you got one of the better quarterbacks. You bring back one of the better defenses, all things considered, without injury. You should go pretty far. And I know things change, but that's kind of where I'm thinking for him. If I'm answering the question, then it's probably the NFC Championship for him. I'm sure he wants to go.
I agree. I think it is the NFC Championship, especially when obviously we still have the draft to go, but when we consider the landscape of the NFC, like you mentioned, we right there. We are right there. And fingers crossed. This is, I'm not rooting or wishing injury or anything, but that hump that's the 49ers, they just can't get past. Besides, they have a hump of their own, which is quarterback stuff.
Who's their quarterback? That's what I'm saying. Like
they always have quarterback issues. So perhaps we can take advantage of that. But yeah, I think it has to be that. I'm excited to see Dak with a much better wide receiver core than he had last year. So I think that too. I think that it has to be the NFC Championship, man. And I've been kind of screaming at the last couple of seasons. You know, it has to be the NFC Championship. I don't want to go as far as Super Bowl. You know, that my stomach get a little queasy when I start talking about. As much as I want us to get there, my stomach get queasy as hell when I talk about it. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm nervous. I'll be like, okay, like last season, just the thought of like us beating the 49ers, and I called you. I
remember.
That was very. I was like, this is scary. This is scary territory because we could move forward, and then we're in the NFC Championship, and now there's a whole different level of like emotions, expectations, all that good stuff. So for me, it's the NFC Championship as well. And again, it's the NFC is wide open. It's just it's wide, let me be clear. It's wide open even if Aaron Rodgers stays.
Yeah, like
that doesn't matter if he moves or not. It's still wide open.
Girl, it was like overnight. It felt like overnight.
Well, that's because the GOAT not there no more. Tom Brady.
Yeah, the AFC can do all that. Like they gonna box.
Yes.
Spin. They're gonna be hurting. Only one of y'all can come out of there. Only one. If y'all want to go over there and box, do your thing. Nobody after that. But it's just crazy to think about the state of the quarterback position in the NFC. Is nuts.
Top 5, what's your top? Log, get back on the screen. Top 5 quarterbacks in NFC.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, okay. But hold on. Before I say that, I'm just gonna say it's Super Bowl of buzz. Yeah. Y'all know good and well. Y'all talking all nice and sweet.
You don't even like using the word Super Bowl.
What'd you say?
You don't even like using the word Super Bowl.
I don't. But you said for Mike McCarthy. They just got rid of one of their guys, Kellen Moore. He supposed to be the next head coach here. And they said, "Oh, we got rid of our guy, right?" So that's I'm just saying. Now the top 5 quarterbacks, and
see how fast he came back on the screen when I said top 5 quarterbacks. You see how fast he came back?
Yeah. I just had to lay that out there.
He ain't missing no good talk. He ain't missing no good talk.
The top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah.
Let's not be disrespectful, ladies and gentlemen. For those in the chat that said, okay, Hurts or Kirk Cousins, it's Dak Prescott. He's the best quarterback in the NFC. And y'all can fight me later.
Yeah.
On top
y'all
of
can
that,
fight me too.
Yeah, you got 2 people to fight. We're gonna see what Aisha say, but down the line. But it's Dak, and you will probably lean on maybe golf.
Can we remind ourselves that Matthew Stafford is in the NFC? A lot of times we're forgetting that Matthew Stafford is in the NFC, people. We need to.
Well, was Dak, Stafford, golf, Hurts, Cousins. Who else?
Gino.
Gino is right above Danny Jones. So he's right above those guys. Oh, somebody said Carr. So let me.
Oh, Derek Carr. I forgot about Carr's over.
Carr got to be number 3 or number 4, right?
I mean, so you're not gonna put Jalen Hurts. Where's Jalen Hurts for you?
He said second. Oh, third. You had Jalen Hurts like 4.
Man, I'm moving to Jalen Hurts all up and down on that one. Can he do it again? We can't just let him do 1 year and say, all right, let's put him in the top 5. So, hey, we need to see him update that resume. Let's see how he bounced back. Let's see what he looks like coming after a Super Bowl loss or what have you. So I'm not finna give, and I know a bunch of Eagle fans right now, they watch the show religiously. They mad, they punching wind right now. They go get that bird, Law. Go get that bird. I got him. Hold on. I got to shoot that bird out of there.
Oh, no. I mean.
They still cry, y'all. They still cry, y'all.
Listen, Jalen Hurts had a fantastic season. He had an incredible season. And
Right.
I'm not throwing shade. Okay. This is gonna come off shady, but I ain't throwing shade. Well, you can take it how you want it. I don't care because I don't really duck no smoke, right? So again, like Law said, I needed to happen again.
Yeah.
And they did a great job at putting incredible weapons around Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Yeah. The moment all of that stuff happened at last year's draft that I was at, sitting in that room, and all of the offseason acquisitions, we on paper we already knew, like, okay, they're at least pushing the NFC Championship here. Like, then they start making some in-season moves, and we're like, oh, okay, it's giving Super Bowl a bust for them. Yeah, he had a great season. He better had, with all that time, like, he better have had a great season. When we talk about a total body of work here, like the things that Dak has had to overcome, obviously Rodgers takes top spot if he's still in the division. Come on now, like that. We're not going to be disrespectful.
Are we talking about right now though? Because
I'm going to say the past 2 seasons.
I mean, he had an MVP year the other year, but he didn't look good this year. I mean, their whole offense didn't look good this year. Aaron, respect. I mean, with all
they made a couple they made a little splash here and there. After us, they made a bit of a splash. They did a little run there, but again, listen, you still walk into Lambeau, or when Aaron Rodgers is coming, you still like, damn, I gotta see Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. That means something. So for me, it's Dak. Actually, I don't have my list. For me, it's Dak, Matthew Stafford. I will put Jalen Hurts at 3.
At 3. Okay.
I'm not gonna be disrespectful and just completely throw away what he did last season. And he made the playoffs the year before.
Yeah, I think sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Cousins is probably gonna be 5 for me. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. He's borderline 6 because I have watched Kirk Cousins in Washington for many, many moons, and he ain't what y'all think he is. I think that he's shown that in Minnesota. So I don't give me. I wouldn't even put. I hate when they try to group him in Dak, and I'm like, y'all are. This is nasty work.
He's hit his ceiling. In my opinion,
he been hit his ceiling. He hit his ceiling before he left.
I just think he's hit his ceiling, and that's just kind of my argument for people who would argue that Justin Fields is definitely improving too. But the question was, who's the top 5 quarterbacks? And there's something to be said about these guys that are learning the quarterback position. I give a lot of credit to Dak Prescott for what he did, because he came into the NFL as a running quarterback. And that was the knock on him, his accuracy, his pocket presence, whatever. Kitna came into the building, and you could see that there was a concerted effort to get better as a passer, to get,
his mechanics completely improved when John Taylor came in, for sure.
So when you look at Jalen Hurts, I look at them very similarly. You look at Jalen Hurts and what he's doing progressively is becoming more of an accurate passer, becoming more accurate in the pocket, doing things. And so I just think I find it difficult to compare the two. I think he's so young in his career that I don't know why people. I understand the success he had this past year. I totally get it. But I just think it's so odd that we're just like pushing the fact that this gentleman is better than Dak Prescott. They have a lot of similar traits. Just give him
time. Very similar. Very similar. Yeah.
Give him time to grow into a full quarterback. Like, I think you put pressure on this player to become something in a faster period than what you like, because you are saying he's a better quarterback. Jalen's not doing the movement that Dak is doing at the line of scrimmage because it takes time. Like, it takes time to build up to. And so, and to your point, the Eagles did what they're supposed to do. The 49ers do what they're supposed to do. They build around a young rookie quarterback while they have time. And so he's still just developing. He's still learning. So I just think I always find it so odd that people really be like, he's better than Dak. I'm like, bro, That's not how quarterback works. There's a couple of guys that are special, and there's a couple of guys who have to work every year to get better, and then they get to a point to where they completely understand the game for what it is.
Just to echo what you just said, the similarities. If you remove like what they did from a rushing aspect and just look at raw quarterback stats of throwing the ball and maintaining it, Jalen Hurts, literally, his stats are mirroring what Dak Prescott did in 2016. It's not that far apart from each other. Now, what put him over the moon was his rushing stats. So you got to account for that. There's a reason why and I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts take big hits when he runs or what have you, but there's a reason why Lamar Jackson is still on the streets looking for another contract, because they holding that against him. They needed to see more from the MVP since 2019, Lamar Jackson. Now, granted, I get it. What my girl said, Ashley, she says collusion. You know what I'm saying? They colluding. We know for sure. Because when that owner came out and said, hey, it's due to injuries is the reason why Lamar Jackson don't have a contract, when Jimmy Garoppolo been hurt for the last 4 years, right? And he's on a team with a contract. So
don't start telling the truth.
No, it's
yeah.
But somebody mentioned Justin Fields too. You look at what Chicago's doing right now. They are trying to give Justin Fields the opportunity to show that he is a quarterback, and you cannot do that without good receiving options, without an offensive line, without people around you. And Philly really went out and did that for him. They really went out there and did that for Jalen Hurts. Unfortunately, he got injured this year. This was almost an all-in year, it felt like, for them. So that's why they're losing a lot of guys on the back end. So for him, I just think we got to be patient with these guys in their development. Everybody's not going to be a Pat Mahomes, because that's just not how the game. Like, you look at Josh Allen. I think a lot of people put so much pressure on him to be this guy, and he's a turnover machine.
And you know what drives me nuts about the Josh Allen thing is he wasn't good until he got Stephon Diggs, and I'm like, okay, well, most quarterbacks need
they need
like that. Like, what the hell is he going to throw to himself?
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, is Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Right.
Without Tariq.
My man Travis Kelce got to go jack.
Travis Kelce, come on now.
Come on.
He's that dude. I just think we got to stop faulting these young players for being young players. Like, it's just, I think, again, like I said,
this year 8 for Dak?
7. We don't count where he got hurt because he was out the whole season.
Yeah.
He was almost out. I don't count it because he couldn't play the game. And that's just me personally. I just don't put it on in my mind, I don't put it. But yeah, this is year 8 for him. And if I'm understanding correctly, good quarterbacks, once they start figuring out everything, they really start piecing it together. Some of the better quarterbacks really start piecing it together in year 7, year 8. And so I'm looking for him to take that next step. You just seen an improvement in different places in his game every year. It's the way people act about Dak Prescott is funny to me.
Well, I think also because he came in hot, right? So his first season was just him and Zeke taking the league by storm. And, people don't understand, like, he took the league by storm, but like you said, he still needed to develop and grow into a quarterback. And so, I think that's, when you come in and set the bar, oh man, just human nature is like, all right, you know what I mean? We've seen you play at an incredible level. And his first year, like you said, like, Dak was new, fresh, but Dak wasn't playing out of this world that first year.
When you go back and look at that tape, no, he was not doing anything special. It was a simplified offense. And when you look, besides Jalen Hurts' deep passing ability in some instances this past season, that is a simplified offense.
Offense, And
that's not a knock to him.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. That's good coaching. And it's so odd to me how people try to compare the two. These are two totally different animals. Like, Jalen, he got some time, he got to grow. So my top 5 would be Dak Prescott. I would say I think I'm a little higher on Kirk Cousins in comparison to the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFC.
Okay.
Not at 2.
I would go Jalen second because of his development. Okay. And then I would go Kirk, then
Okay,
maybe Derek,
3, 4.
then maybe Carr, and then it's tough
Call.
between Geno and Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but hey, what was he before that? And then what is he that? Like, he barely played last season. He did not
Yeah,
look
to
good.
be fair, he didn't.
Yeah, that elbow.
He nothing in Detroit though.
Geno put some good tape out last year for himself, so I might put Geno in that fifth spot right now, currently, and then see what Matthew Stafford does for you lately, in this next upcoming season. So
my last two would be Derek Carr at 4 and Kirk Cousins at 5. And
yeah,
that's, for me, is interchangeable between him and Geno Smith.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins is just personally, I think he is what he is. But I will say that them bringing Brian Flores in on the defensive side of the ball and them trying to get better on that defensive side of the ball. Look out for the Vikings. They are kind of in this weird retooling situation, but their defense is what let them down a lot of times last year. Even though he had his turnovers, it was their defense a lot of times. So they might be a sleeper team, in my opinion, in the NFC. That might be up.
Ooh, y'all got some good stuff, at the end of this one. Oh, it's opened my mind up to so many things with these conversations. So at the end of the day, Dak Prescott, all three of us had him as the number 1 quarterback out of the NFC.
And that's not us being homers.
No. He got his resume and everything as far as his stats and accolades. It's up there. But now we need to see postseason stuff, right? So that's just what it is. And I think that Dak Prescott will relish in this new philosophy from Mike McCarthy. Yeah, he'll relish in it.
Listen, I enjoyed you, Miss Morrison. Oh man, set the place on fire. Law, you are, dope as usual. Folks in the comments, folks listening, we definitely appreciate y'all for tapping in with us tonight. One more time, where can people find you? I'm pretty sure it might be a whole lot of new people in the audience, and they want to know where you be.
Yes, so my name is Aisha Morrison. You can find me on the Draft Show every Wednesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. I'm also on Girls Talk, Boys Talk with DallasCowboys.com at 10 a.m. Oh, I said p.m. before. 10 a.m. Ooh, my bad, y'all. 10 a.m. on Thursdays. And also, too, you can find me on Twitter. It is Aisha Morrison. So that's IISHA. There's no L. There's none of that. It's 2 I's. And I'm very interactive. So say what's up.
Yes, indeed.
Your Law, I mean,
Hey, you guys can find me at LAW Nation Sports. I'm everywhere. Look me up. Hey, I didn't have a good time. I had a great time today hanging around with you all. Hey, let's continue to grow this, and this community is second to none. We got knowledgeable people all over the globe that tune in, and then guess what? We got knowledgeable people on this panel. So I love every bit of it. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Let's go. Let's celebrate. Let's get it.
Bye, Ashley.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, you ain't gonna tell her where to follow you at?
Y'all know what the fuck. No, okay, all right, fine. Listen, Sports After Dark is about to start. If you want to talk NBA, make sure that you jump in. Make sure you follow me at Ashley Baker _21. That's on Twitter, that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok. And make sure you follow the Sports After Dark page as well. Sports A Dark _. I think we're either the space is running now, thanks to my Sports After Dark crew, or we're gonna be running it once I jump off of here. So either way, we're a football space. Unfortunately, we don't go nights without talking some type of NFL. They be hungry for NFL, but we are knee deep in the NBA because the playoffs are right around the corner. So head on over there if you guys want to tap in.
That's it. That's good. Let's go. That's Ashley. That's Aisha. Let's go. The name is Law Nation. We up. Peace.